Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices is made possible in part by CIBC.
Good evening, happy holidays, y bienvenidos to a special edition of Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices. I'm Hugo Balta, WTTW News Director and your host. Thank you for sharing part of your weekend with us. On the show tonight, we'll bring you some of our favorite stories from the past year, including members of the Little Village community who are fighting to retain their cultural identity. We'll meet an author of a new children's book celebrating diversity and her business in building bridges between cultures through arts and crafts. Librarian Miguel Ruiz gives us la ultima palabra on why he says libraries are crucial to a just and equitable society. The Field Museum trains volunteers to monitor milkweed plants, the monarch butterfly's habitats. WTTW News reporter Patty Wetley shares what they learned. And a feel-good story from this year, Claudio Velez, aka the Tamale Guy's restaurant, opening and his recovery from COVID-19. Y un poquito de música, the Puerto Rican national instrument gets its time to shine during the holiday season. First off tonight, Chicago's Little Village neighborhood, La Villita, is known as the epicenter of Mexican culture and commerce for the entire Midwest. But after a developer purchased a neighborhood plaza earlier this year, some residents and business owners are concerned the fabric of the community could be at risk. We originally brought you this story a couple of months ago. Here's another look. The Little Village Plaza on 26th Street has long been an anchor of this Southwest Side community. It houses taquerias, a Walgreens, a bakery, and sits next to the neighborhood's front door, the Bienvenidos a Little Village arch. It's also home to an expansive discount mall, where for decades small business owners have sold everything from jewelry to instruments to party supplies and even exotic birds.
This is a Hispanic community, so anything you want, like from Mexico, you'll find here. So it's like a lot of items you cannot get anywhere easily, and people know that, and they come straight to here to find those things. And it's people's lives, like all their life, like us. We've been here more than 30 years. Daisy Reyes and her family run IMEX Imports in the mall, selling sombreros, soccer shirts, shoes, a little bit of everything. But Reyes and her neighbors are now concerned their livelihood could be under threat from possible redevelopment. Business owners in this shopping center in Little Village, La Villita, are concerned that soon it'll be a thing of the past. Places where you can find unique products like this sneaker with the stamps of La Loteria Mexicana. But these are more than just shopping centers for the community. They're gathering places where they maintain their culture. Earlier this year, the mall and plaza were purchased by Novak Construction, a developer that has a history of converting properties into big box stores like Costco. In a statement, Novak said, although rumors and misinformation have surrounded the plaza for months, the owners wish to convey that there will be no redevelopment plans this year as they seek to understand the market and the neighborhood better. The company says it recognizes the plaza as a staple of the 26th Street shopping district and plans to bring, quote, much needed care and attention to a property it says has long been neglected. But some mall vendors remain skeptical and say redevelopment could hasten gentrification and displacement in Little Village. One of them is Cocoy Malagron. For 11 years, she sold quinceañera dresses and all kinds of clothing at her shop, Source Fashion. In recent months, she's also become a leader in the movement to keep the mall running as is.
Target, Costco. Y nosotros nos preguntamos, ¿realmente la comunidad necesita eso? Nosotros somos un concepto único que emplea a más de 400 personas. Entonces nos preguntamos, ¿una caja Target va a ofrecer esos empleos?
For Malagón and other vendors, the discount mall goes beyond a place to make a living. It represents their roots in Latin American culture and the lives they created in the United States.
Entonces, cuando tú llegas a este lugar, te sientes identificado. te olvidas de que estás en Estados Unidos, sientes que estás en tu país, te da una nostalgia y te sientes muy cómodo. Entonces, nosotros lo que queremos es mantener el concepto. Nosotros no nos oponemos al progreso, queremos ser incluidos en el progreso. Nuestra pregunta es, ¿por qué no podemos ser incluidos en ese progreso?
Visit our website for more on this story and on the Little Village neighborhood, including a proposal to hike fines for repeat air pollution violators. The proposal by Mayor Lori Lightfoot is an effort to deter environmental hazards like April's botched smokestack demolition that covered Little Village in a cloud of dust. Up next, home decor items that pay artisan family. But first, Latino or Hispanic? What's in a name? The nature of today's home goods industry makes it easy to forget that many home decor items, from stuffed animals to holiday decorations, are made by people, and those people are often exploited for their labor. Rosa Chanclaro wants a better choice for Chicagoans looking to spruce up their homes. Her company, Blossom Inspirations, operates on a fair trade model and offers home products that she says respects not only the people who made them, but also the cultures that inspire them. We spoke with Chanclaro earlier this year. I began by asking her what fair trade is and why she thinks it's so important.
It's a movement, and also there is a big nonprofit organization that is Chicago Fair Trade, right, that has the mission to reduce poverty around the world, right, promoting diversity, inclusion, an eco-friendly planet, and empowering women, and offering a fair wage for the artisans, right? They want to educate also consumers in terms of how our products that they buy can impact other people's life, right? Where are the products coming from, and how can we support artisans or persons in vulnerable conditions in other part of the world?
And it's wonderful. I love how it builds bridges between the artisans and the communities that consume them. Now, you have a few examples of those products you sell. Can you show us a little bit of some of the ones that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. We work with the line of alpaca fur toys. This is the llama corn, based on the love of the unicorn and the llama. We have also masks. We need masks, right? So this is the scenes from Peru. We also work with boards. So here is a skyline from Chicago. And we also have ornaments for holiday season made by recycled horn. All of our products are made in Peru and Mexico, working directly with Peruvian and Mexican artisans, supporting them with designs, color, patterns, and giving them access to other markets.
Now, you and I share in that we're both Peruvian Americans, but we're also bilingual, bicultural. Now, you've written a bilingual children's book, Cuyita Wants to Know the World. And what I like about it is it's in English and Spanish, and very often in households like ours, comenzamos la conversación en español and then we finish it in English. Tell us about the book's inspiration.
Correct. This is the book that I created. I started writing the book last year, and the idea was to help our kids to continue in the language of Spanish and English. So we all, every night we read to our kids in English and in Spanish. And additional to that, we decided to create with the artisans these toys, right? And promote diversity, inclusion, and also empowering women. So the books open the conversation for that. And also has some scenes in terms of samicines, and also traditional animals from Peru in order to promote culture and traditional animals, and also from Mexico, the monarch butterflies. So we incorporate a QR code. Like, I think that technology is a driver for inclusion. So in the QR code, you can see the artisan, how they made the cuyita, that is the main character of this book. Everything is in English and in Spanish. And honestly, I didn't imagine that I'm going to publish this book in the middle of this crisis, but it's going to be my COVID response in order to support artisans with basic needs during this pandemic. We recently received the bless from the Pope Francis, el Papa Francisco.
You can find more on Blossom's Inspiration's mission and products on our website. Up next, why for many Latinos las fiestas navideñas go past New Year's Day.
We can get past the idea of turning this into a political topic and really get to serving our communities. That's something I can get behind.
Maybe we can use this as a calling card to unite.
Who doesn't want the good feeling of the holiday season to last? Here's why for many Latinos, the gift-giving season isn't over until January 6th. El Día de los Reyes Magos is on January 6th. At this time of year, many Mexican families gather in the kitchen to make dozens and dozens of tamales to celebrate the holidays. In Chicago, the patron saint of tamales is Claudio Velez. After decades as a food vendor affectionately known as the Tamale Guy, Velez was thrilled to open his restaurant Tamale Guy Chicago this summer. But weeks into opening, Velez contracted COVID-19 and was hospitalized for 35 days before returning home in October. Chicago Tonight's Evan Garcia visited Velez during his restaurant's opening day as part of WTTW Chicago Portrait Series. Here's another look.
For the past 20 years or so, Claudio Velez has been known as the Tamale Guy, a food vendor selling tamales to Chicago's bar patrons. Now, through some extraordinary circumstances we'll soon explain, he has his own restaurant.
Me siento muy emocionado y le doy gracias a Dios y a todas las personas que me ayudaron para hacer posible el sueño americano.
Claudio arrived in America 28 years ago from Acapulco, Mexico. He moved from San Diego to Chicago, where a friend named Fernando taught him how to make and sell tamales bar to bar.
Every bar. Only 3-4 minutes in the bar, I go to vámonos. 100 bar. Every night.
Armed with a cooler full of tamales, Claudio's business became well known within Chicago's bar scene. A tamale tracker Twitter account with more than 7,000 followers announced his location at any given time.
You have tamales?
In 2016, the food site Eater went searching for him. At the time, he asked to stay anonymous. With COVID-19 shutting down Chicago's nightlife in March, Claudio had to adapt. He started making home deliveries.
Hacía dinero, pero lo agarraba mi dinero y ahí iba quedando.
But the home deliveries didn't last long. After reportedly receiving several complaints, the city of Chicago sent Claudio a cease and desist letter for operating without a retail food license. Claudio was crushed.
Me sentí muy triste cuando me dijeron que yo ya parara de vender, porque alguien les había mandado como 10 correos que yo no tenía la licencia, y ese alguien me denunció ante ellos.
When word got out that Claudio's livelihood was stopped, the community rallied around him online.
Y la comunidad americana se propuso hacerme un GoFundMe para ponerme el restaurante, y lo lograron. Me juntaron $35,000. Y con ese dinero y un poquito de dinero que yo tenía, y con la ayuda de mi amigo Pierre, que también puso dinero, compramos todo lo que tenemos aquí, y todo es de nosotros. No hay nada de él y mío.
The restaurant, located in Ukrainian Village, is called Tamale Guy Chicago, and its opening day was a hit.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're very welcome.
Co-owner Pierre Vega has worked in restaurants since he was 15 years old. He's known Claudio for more than 10 years.
Yesterday, we were here from 7 in the morning until about 8 at night just making tamales, and we had about 3,000 tamales on hand, and I mean, pretty much sold out of those within the first hour.
Pierre views the city's cease and desist letter as a blessing in disguise.
Ultimately, if it never happened, we wouldn't be here right now, which is, in my honest opinion, I think exactly where he wants to be.
Es más bueno para mí, porque ya estoy tranquilo, estoy trabajando con todos los permisos de la ciudad, nadie me va a molestar, y estamos bien.
In the kitchen, it's a family affair, with Claudio's sister Maria helping the 55-year-old make pork tamales. The restaurant is takeout only for now and sells a variety of tamales.
Vamos a tener tamales de pollo en salsa verde, tamales de queso con rajas en salsa verde, tamales de puerco en salsa roja, y vamos a tener los tradicionales son.
Claudio and his partner have big dreams for their new business.
And we plan to definitely do a lot of business out of here, and in hopes to one day, create a tamale factory and hopefully sell Claudio's Tamale Guy tamales in your grocer's freezer or fridge.
Seguir creciendo, poner más y más y más, hasta que yo llegue a ser como el Papa John's. ¿Cómo se llama?
For Chicago Tonight, I'm Evan Garcia.
Tamale Guy Chicago co-owner Kristen Vega updated us this week saying Claudio has been recovering at home since the end of his hospital stay for COVID-19 in October. Vega says no other employees have contracted COVID-19, and the restaurant has expanded to a full menu beyond just tamales. You can visit our website to learn more about Velez's story and for a link to the Tamale Guy Chicago website to order food online. Now, there's a link between the U.S. and Mexico that doesn't include politics, trade, or even people. It's the monarch butterfly. Each year, when summer comes to an end in Chicago, las maripositas travel 2,000 miles south for winter. The Field Museum spent this past summer training volunteers how to monitor the monarch's habitat, and now those folks recently learned more about Mexico's efforts to preserve the butterfly's winter home. WTTW News reporter Patty Wetley joined us recently to share details on this story. I began by asking her to tell us more about the Field Museum's Monarch program and who they got in touch with in Mexico.
They recruit people like you and me, and they train them in English and in Spanish to monitor milkweed plants, which are where monarch butterflies lay their eggs, and it's the only food that their caterpillars eat. So they want to see how effective planting milkweed is in urban areas like Chicago. And they had their year-end celebration review of all the data that 170-some monitors in Chicago had collected this season.
Now, what did the Chicago volunteers learn about the monarchs once they arrive in Mexico?
So in the Zoom presentation, it was amazing. They had Eduardo Rendon Salinas, who heads up the World Wildlife Fund's monarch conservation program in Mexico. And he was so full of all kinds of amazing information about what they're doing in Mexico to conserve the forest areas where the monarchs roost over the winter. All the stuff that they do in terms of making sure that illegal logging isn't going on in the forest, and comparing, flying planes over the area one year to the next and comparing, have they lost any forest? What's going on? And all the really hard work that Mexico is doing to make sure on one end of the migration, they're doing everything they can while we're nurturing the caterpillars on the other end.
Again, that was a conversation from last month. Be sure to check out our website to read Patty's full story on why monarchs make Mexico their winter home. And while you're there, you can also read why the monarch didn't make the cut for the endangered species list this month. It's all at wttw.com/news. A series on Chicago Tonight Latino Voices that we've especially enjoyed is called La Ultima Palabra, or The Last Word. It gives us a chance to hand the mic to Chicagoans and hear what's important to you. Librarian Miguel Ruiz says he's always been a believer in the power of the public library, but now he thinks they're more crucial than ever. Here's Ruiz getting La Ultima Palabra on what he says public libraries do to support communities.
I'm Miguel Ruiz, and I'm the supervising librarian at the Robert Crown Library Branch. Libraries changed my life, and not just because I became a librarian, but because growing up as a Latino and landing a job at my local library when I was a teen radically changed my self-perception. It was through browsing books while I shelved that I inadvertently learned about myself and my interests in a way that I hadn't before. In these moments, I really discovered my passion for photography, nature, community activism, and the act of learning itself. And that's just a slice of what libraries can mean to people. Public libraries play an important role in a healthy democracy and are cornerstones to an equitable society. They serve as third spaces in our communities next to our homes and places of employment. Everyone, regardless of income, ethnicity, race, gender, and other identities, can improve the well-being without fear of judgment or discrimination, which are continuous barriers for our Latino communities. Public libraries provide free service and resources that are difficult to find or are non-existent for our Latino communities, such as English as a second language classes, computer workshops, job training, citizenship classes, financial literacy, and health and wellness programs, along with cultural programming such as concerts, author visits, bilingual story times, movies, and art exhibitions. The list really goes on. As community hubs, many libraries have bilingual staff that can help navigate library and community resources. And the future of libraries really lies deeply in integrating into spaces where our communities naturally gather. Although it's disheartening to see the barriers and challenges our families face simply trying to navigate through public life, I'm continuously humbled by the dedication, hard work, and perseverance that I see every day. I find joy and pride in being a librarian because I'm able to contribute to community self-actualization and development. Unfortunately, public libraries are drastically underfunded, and social infrastructures that bring communities together are needed now more than ever. I do this work because I know we make a tangible impact and improve the well-being of our most underserved and often ignored communities. It's important that we all understand, acknowledge, and support the work that our public libraries do. I believe in and love libraries because they're truly palaces for the people.
Be sure to check out our website to listen to more from La Ultima Palabra series. Up next, a Puerto Rican instrument getting its due during the holiday season.
Don't miss one of our stories. Get them all delivered to your desktop or mobile device with a subscription to the WTTW News Daily Briefing. Go to WTTW.com/Daily Briefing and sign up.
In Puerto Rican households, Nochebuena celebrations get their joyful sound from the music of el cuatro. Musician Jennifer Guillen shows us why the folk instrument is key to a merry Puerto Rican Christmas.
The cuatro is basically Puerto Rico's national instrument. Puerto Rican parranda is a little medley with 3 different songs. Folk music, basically. And people sing it every year during Christmas, usually. I took it and ran with it. For Puerto Ricans, Christmas usually starts around like October and it ends the beginning of January. And we just have that Christmas spirit like half the year just because like we're just so proud and so happy all the time around that time. Even if you're from Puerto Rico or even if you're from here, you'll still feel that Christmas spirit with Puerto Ricans around that time.
We met Jennifer Guillen while working on another story about the holiday drink El Coquito, which aired last week. You can find out more about Coquito on our website. And that's our show for this Saturday night. We're off next week, but we'll see you right back here on January 9th. In the meantime, be sure to check out our website, wttw.com/news, for the very latest from WTTW News. And please be sure to join Brandis Friedman tomorrow night for a special edition of Chicago Tonight, Black Voices. Now, for all of us here at Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices, I'm Hugo Balta. Thank you for sharing part of your holiday weekend with us. Stay informed, stay healthy, and stay safe. And happy holidays to you y tu familia. Buenas noches.
Closed captioning for this program is made possible by Robert A. Clifford and Clifford Law Offices, pleased to give back to the community through numerous charitable initiatives.